Hey, everybody. Welcome over to my channel for Truth Tuesday. Geez, oh my God, there's a lot of you already. Round two. Hey, glad to have everyone here. Yeah, watch the other half, or the first half. But you can go watch back on Lisa's
How
channel
can you miss the first half?
because they were doing something.
They gotta watch the first half. I talked about all the meetup information and
Maybe they had diarrhea.
stuff they can join and Telegram group we're doing with the book study, meetup in Oklahoma City, all that.
Yes. Geez, there's so much. Hi, everybody. Glad you're here. All right. Well, so there's a lot of things to get into. We talked about my niece Skylar, who got some justice. She was murdered, and she was like one of my favorite people in the whole world. She really was. I just loved her so much. Love her so much. That she just gave me like nothing but joy. I mean, I got a lot of people in my life that I love that have brought me some headaches, but literally, she just nothing but joy from this kid. I I thought she was going to be something huge and make a mark on the world, but she was her. What's the word?
Her life was taken early.
Yeah, but she had some potential. All her potential. Her potential was just taken away from her, and which is I think we're all gonna suffer for. Um, as the world. But I was gonna share some, and that guy he pled to 50 years, so that's okay, I guess. Just wanted to share some pictures of her. She was an adorable kid. She really was.
Yeah, beautiful girl. Look
That
at those
smile,
dimples. My
that smile, yeah,
goodness.
smile and dimples are just insane. Um, that is her sister, Alexis. Skylar, like I said, Skylar loved kids, but Alexis is like the one that has kids, and Skylar's an amazing aunt. That's a butt. Don't look at that. That's her, and those are the girls.
How cute.
And that's Skylar and Alexis. They are adorable. That's
sweet.
These are when they were kids. She's
cute.
Still see the dimples and the
big smile. Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, that's her and Alexis.
Aww. Oh my gosh! And what a loss to lose a sister.
Yeah, that wasn't my goodness. No, that was us when we were out. That was when that was so long ago. That restaurant's closed now. I took the picture, but that's me and Sky a long time ago.
Oh,
my old boat that I sold. And this is Skylar and Robert.
Oh wow.
Yeah, what is this? Jeez, 10 years old.
Make sure you download that so you have it on a hard drive for when they take down Facebook.
It's an old picture, but yeah, I got it. I think I had it printed out. But yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was larger than life, which is what her obituary said, and it was definitely spot on. So I've been going through a lot of weird emotions because, like I said, I mean, I think we got justice. This kid's gonna be locked up for a long time. His potential's been given up. He really, he's held accountable, but he didn't bring her back or anything. So it's a bittersweet kind of thing, I guess. It's all bitter. But trying not to be bitter. I talk to her every now and then. I talk to Robert every day, but talk to Skylar probably once a week now. So I don't know. I just wanted to.
Well, I'm glad you acknowledge her. It's important.
Yeah, I wanted to bring her
up.
It's
important that we think about our loved ones and
to be thankful for the justice that was given. And like I said, he was a poor black kid in Texas, so I'm sure that's one of the reasons why justice was quick. Like I said, I had food poisoning yesterday, so I didn't go to the trial, and I was gonna go today, and it was done. The newspaper article is already out. It's about his sentencing and everything. So it's a very graphic detail in the newspaper.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it was pretty cut and dry. That must have been pretty clear case there.
Plus, which I don't know why. She had a roommate. This guy broke in. He was burglarizing her apartment. She came out. Was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He shoots her, and then he gets the roommate and beats her with a gun, and then is asking her like, "Where are the valuables? Where's blah, where's your keys?" And then he just beats her. He doesn't shoot her, and then when he leaves, he shoots Skylar some more because she was still alive. But he never shot. He didn't kill the roommate, so she was a witness. So it's just it's a bunch of terribleness.
That's strange.
But yeah, it's all in the newspaper article, which it was rough to read. But I know she's with Robert and with Tony, my nephew that also was killed last year. But I don't know, man, the group of folks that are on the other side is getting to be pretty big for me. Pretty. And I miss all of them really, 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 really a lot. Yes, cherish the time with each other. It's very precious. You never know.
But remember, we just talked about how energy cannot be created or destroyed.
That's the thing. I know that, and I know that she is.
That's the lie that they tell us, is that we're apart from each other.
I know that love is and I've learned all this stuff like recently, like within the past 10 years, that this energy thing is real. That love is a quantifiable thing that connects, and we all admit there's other dimensions. We all admit there's other dimensions. It's very scientifically, it just
time is like theories. The least real thing.
Yeah, we're talking about different theories, like the theory of that's not relativity. That's a different thing. But the theory of gravity. It's not we don't know how gravity works. We don't know why we're stuck to the planet. We have a theory, and that's what's taught. Evolution, it's a theory. We don't know it for sure. Same as creationism, by God, it's a theory. It is, all of them. It's weird when you talk about science in that term that gravity is faith. That you have to have faith and believe in the theory of gravity. So, but I know that love is a real quantifiable link that it spans time. It can connect to different parts of the universe. I know it's like a tie.
I always say, like, relationships are the only thing we get to take with us. When people are talking about, they're working so hard and they're thinking they're doing the right thing by providing for their family, but they're away from them the whole time or whatever, or they think they're working for dollars, or, what's your goal in life, or what do you want for your children? And we all think, well, we want them to go to the right school and get a great job, and so they can have this great life. Well, if you get down to it, you really want your children to be happy.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, that's about relationships and being, connected with the people that you love, feeling loved and connected and, fulfilled that way.
We've gulagged to bring it all around to a joke there. Yeah. Well, live forever with
oh my goodness.
Speaking of that, I wanted to talk about the stuff the thing that Trump said that I saw.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I saw it. It's just 5 days old, and what I had said before over on Lisa's channel is the thing I think this is so profound to me is that he said these things. He said these things. They're very, very frank. They're very, very upfront. They're very not used to what he's saying. These are things that he wouldn't have said before when he was president. before everyone talks about that he tried to have an insurrection, before, when he wasn't under the microscope, when he cared about watching what he said, he would not have said these things this frankly. And it's weird because when he says it all, it's like, yeah, that has to happen. Yeah, that has to happen. But you know where this is headed, or I think I know where this is headed, and it's a dark place. And I've always said I think that's where we're going to end up. I've been the doom and gloomer. Lisa's been the hopium, and now that now that I see this look like we're heading there, and I've always said we need a leader, someone to stand up and say, do it, you know, tear it down. And now that we're there, I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. So I'll play this for you. And the things that shocked me, where number one, he just flat out said, we got to get rid of the FBI, CIA, although we got to take down these agencies.
But when he was in office, he defunded all that.
He says, but completely get rid of it, fire the deep state, and rebuild it. Like we've been talking about, you can't fix it. You got to tear it down and start over. And he actually says that. And then he says that Russia is not the worst enemy of the United States. I was ready for it. It's China. And he's like, you know who it is? It's Americans. And that was like profound to me, because that is, it's some of these Americans and it's American leaders that basically
if you say it's Pelosi and McConnell and it's traitors. I would agree with that.
Which is drawing that line, which is pushing us to that
domestic terrorists,
pushing us to that place. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, one of the biggest things is he said, I'm the only one that can fix it. And that he never said. He always said, I'm going to work on draining the swamp. I'm just a guy. He always said, you have to fix America. The people have to fix this and local and all. This was, I'm the only one. Whoa. So here, listen to it. Tell me.
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human. We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad, while they turn us into a third world country and a third world dictatorship right here at home. The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably, more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us. It's the abolition of our national borders. It's the failure to police our own cities. It's the destruction of the rule of law from within. It's the collapse of the nuclear family and fertility rates like nobody can believe is happening. It's the Marxists who would have us become a godless nation worshiping at the altar of race and gender and environment. And it's the globalist class that has made us totally dependent on China and other foreign countries that basically hate us. These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas while keeping us distracted from the havoc they're creating right here at home. These forces are doing more damage to America than Russia and China could ever have dreamed. Evicting the sick and corrupt establishment is the monumental task for the next president, and I am the only one who can do it. I'm the only one that can get the job done. I know exactly what has to be done.
Sounds good to me.
It's pretty. It's scary, man. It's scary. Like
I
I
don't
know
think that's scary at all.
I know where it's going, and it's happening. It's happening. It's so weird. You know, the banks are failing, banks are crashing, and I'm not even. There's certain people I was like waiting to send "I told you so" messages. You know,
But that's all part of it. Depends on what narrative, like who you have been listening to, who you've been like studying, whatever. Like if you look at like the road to Ruta, that the good guys infiltrate the Fed and get the Fed to basically like eat itself, get the central banks to eat themselves, which is what's happening.
yeah. You know, and Bambi said something real quick. I wanted to hit this. This is because this is something that you all look for, and there's so many people that are, you know, and it's
but
not.
it's blue with pink stripes, which means he's doing something for the children.
See,
and
I think
there
we're beyond
was
that now. I think there's no more.
well,
I think it's
but
like
we are
here's what we're going to
energy.
do. Here's what needs to happen. It's all. I think we're at the next stage here. The words
And they're
that he
talking
used,
about the energy.
there's no more. Like we talk on YouTube, and this hit code and platitude. It's all. I think we're there. I think that if he was arrested or if he is arrested, that's the end. That's the absolute end.
No.
I think the left and the liberal people are just so riled up, and I think the people on the right and conservatives are just so fed up. It's I think it's done. I think that the end result will be good, but I think it's going to be bad during the times. Like I mean, like 7 years of tribulation till you know, paradise. But it's I think that's what's coming. It's just blowing my mind, and especially, can you imagine that no one's talking about that?
The people, the
Those
left,
words, and that no one, CNN's not
are
blowing it up.
people that they pay, and no, there's not, because the banks are failing. There's no gift cards to give out to have
But not every
Antifa pay to riot.
That, though. You can't say that. That's not.
I
That's not
can
real.
say that. That is what happened. There's video
My
of it.
stepfather is the most non-political person in the world, and he hates Trump. I've never seen.
But he's not going to go out and tear up a Target.
No, but these people that are so riled and so hateful that they're it's real. You know, yeah, you know, they're giving them bricks, and they're causing a lot of the stuff that has happened, and a lot of things are being exposed. I mean, the fact that they led the shaman guy around, the police led him around. How do you arrest him for committing a violent crime when the police are leading him around, and then he prayed for them?
Yeah.
So a lot of it's being exposed as, you know, agenda stuff, but I've been saying that for years. It doesn't matter. You can expose everything, but nothing happens. You literally
Then
have
how
a video.
how can they arrest Trump if
That's
nothing
the thing.
happens, if no one's held accountable?
You know, I'm glad you said that, because I had this epiphany. Rules for thee and not for me. The class system is there. We have to admit there is a class system, and they hate him, and he is not one of them. You know, Bill Clinton can pay off 20 people that he, you know, that accused him of rape, whether he did it or not. that accused him, but it didn't matter. He paid them off. That is, like, he's admitted to that. We know that there's been certain people that are paid off, but Trump paid off the porn star Stormy Daniels, and
Allegedly.
that's wrong. No, he paid her. He paid her $100,000.
Well, that's not what came out today. Michael Cohen lied, is what came out today.
Be that as it may, whatever. It doesn't matter, because that it was admitted to with Hillary and Clinton that was paid off. There were people that were paid off, and they're like, "Oh, that's personal business," and it doesn't matter. You look at, like, I bring up the mayor of New York. I mean, and the governor of New York all the time, Cuomo. He admitted to sexual assault, and nothing happened. So, but he is, and that's something that I thought of. Trump, his dad was like, rich guy, but got rich in construction, blue collar shit. He's not one of them intellectuals. Cuomo, his family bought all those kids have degrees from Harvard. That meathead that was, Cuomo from CNN, he has a degree from Harvard. But and his sister has. When you talk to them, it's obvious they wouldn't have been there in any other way except that he gave them a bunch of money. He bought those. So even they bought their way into that class. Trump, not so much.
I know this narrative has to come out, but I'm just really bored with it. So,
but everything comes out and nothing happens. So I think until that part of the system is fixed, and now everyone's saying, well, if he did commit a crime, he should be arrested and should be. Really, you're going to say that when here's a video of Hunter Biden measuring his illegal drugs, felony amounts, with underage girls that he's doing
on Obama's daughter's butt,
and nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's like, come on, man. Just admit it. Either you're going to live as a serf, and we're going to live in this class system, and there's peasants, and those people that we vote in are rulers, and not our servants. There's public servants that we vote in. Either we admit it, or things have to change. And I think things are moving to that now, which is...
Well, and then we have to decide if we think that even matters anymore.
What?
If we're even voting.
Yeah. Speaking of votes, I did want to talk about the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That was
a farmer just won.
No. They've created a whole new party. The Farmer Party.
Yes, the Farmer Party.
It was just formed in 2019. They got, and that's another thing about when I see Europe and their political system, it's so much better than ours. I think about it, and I always bring up how our founding fathers gave us very few rules and said, hey, don't do this, it could break it. Don't do this, it could break it. Don't do this, it could break it. Don't have a party system for politics. It can break the republic, especially if you get down to two different parties, because then it's just one side versus the other. There's no real government. You can see it. Every vote is Republican or Democrat. Do the Republicans have the majority? Do the Democrats have the majority? It's like, that's not how it's supposed to work.
No.
And we've accepted it, that's how it works.
Yeah. In fact, Senator Langford posted in his letter, he's a senator here in Oklahoma, it's conservative and constitutional. And he said that, I guess they dress up like George Washington every year, which I had no idea, on President's Day. And they read his letter to Congress or whatever. And he specifically says, do not form parties.
Yeah. Which is everything that we did wrong has happened. It's screwed up exactly like I said. But when I looked at the Netherlands, their vote, they were like, this is the hugest win ever. Their party won 19% of their Senate or whatever. Because I looked, and there's like 7 different parties. There's 7 different groups that have won. It's like these people have 3%. These people have 10%. You know, the socialists have 9%. The
No
conservatives
wonder
have
she was so
12%.
surprised.
So they're that's I mean in a part I guess it's still a party system. But
Okay.
can you imagine if there was just no parties? If instead of making term limits, we had party limits, which I forget which if it was what show we were on, or some who told me that. But if we had party limits, like only if you run as a Democrat, you can't run again for that
As a Democrat?
right. So you could kill the party system, or you could expose it for being a joke of what it is. They're all the same. There's very they all want war. They all want to feed that monster to keep money coming in. They want to keep
The
printing it, and
money
there's
is
very
what's so
few.
broken. Yeah.
There's very few that see it for what it is, and they actually do want to do some change.
Well, and so much of that is the lobbyists. When you look at the system where they want people that don't have an opinion, that don't have a brain in their head or a thought, or that will just go with the wind, whatever's putting money in their pockets. I mean, that was so apparent to me. We were at a birthday party for some friends, and there was this lobbyist there, and he was like talking to some young dumb kid who couldn't, I don't know if he could tie his shoes, and he was like, oh, so if you thought about getting into politics, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that kid doesn't know shit about how a country runs, or what's important, doesn't have any kind of business sense, or whatever. But his parents are wealthy and connected and whatever, and so it was just some opportunity that they were going to shove a bunch of money in this kid, and his name was connected in our community. And I was just like, I don't know, it was disgusting to me.
Yeah, Daddy Rich, there's a little bit of a delay, so it kind of it's tough for us, because we will start talking. We don't know we're starting talking at the same time. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, it all started at the end of World War II, but before World War II is when the central banks really took over, and so we've had 100 years of central banks, and we've had 100 years of really nonstop war for the world, which is that a coincidence? I don't think so. And they are hiding what's going on in France, Phil and Gulag. You're right, but they have been forever. I mean, the Gilets jaunes were out there every weekend, fighting and protesting. Some of the police were, like joining up with them. They dumped a bunch of manure on their parliament, and people I talked to would, well, what are you talking about, the yellow vest? What do you mean? And that was every weekend for like a year. So, but yeah, there's protests going on in France, huge, and that is for stuff that what the protests in France are.
That's all the ESG kind of stuff.
They want to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64.
Oh, I thought it was started with years ago for their farms, for not having to use certain chemicals on their.
With the Gilets jaunes? That's a whole different thing. But France is burning. There are huge protests right now. I mean, burning. And it's because they want to raise the retirement age. I can't imagine that in the United States. They'd come out and say, they've already raised it to, like, what is it, 70 or something now?
I don't know.
They've raised it now to, I think it's 70. It's not 62, it's 65 anymore. And they raise it, and everyone's like, oh, no, damn government. We just whine about it. And France is on fire. And that's the French, man. We're Americans. But no, I can't imagine. I can't fathom people being that pissed off, because America, everybody doesn't care unless it affects them. And they all say that. I don't care about politics. I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
But because they don't listen, because they don't do research, they just believe whatever they're told, and their friends believe it, and then it's real to them. Talking to my kids, I said something about, we're talking about Star Wars, and Gina Carano, and they're like, oh, she's a terrible person. It's like, no, she's not. She didn't do anything wrong. Or
I don't know who that is.
J.K. Rowling, they think, is a terrible
Oh,
racist.
J.K. Rowling is a terrible person. She stole the story.
Nothing to do with that. They think she's a
It
terrible
doesn't
person
matter.
and a
She still
racist,
is a terrible
and a
person.
horrible person about because she just said, I think there's only two genders. And that doesn't make her a terrible person. If you would disagree with her,
That
there's
doesn't make her a
20 of them.
terrible person, but she's a thief.
But everyone hates her because of that. All the backlash is because of that. There's people that didn't want to, that literally boycotted buying the Harry Potter game just because she's connected with it, because she invented Harry Potter. And just because somebody disagrees with you or has a viewpoint, that doesn't mean they're a terrible person. And it wasn't hateful. She's not like, I hate people and they should die. She's just like, I think there's only two sexes. So
there are only two sexes, but yeah.
I think that's a whole nother argument, because I told you it's just words. It's just bullshit, because they use the word gender and not sex. And I think I don't think there is an argument. I think you want to say there's 100 genders. Okay. But how many sexes are there? And that is what something they won't argue. Because if you think there's 100, 200 genders, there still is only two scientific sexes. 3 maybe. There's some hermaphrodites. No one talks about that, but there's some hermaphrodites. But they don't say that. There is never an argument about
sex. But if you look at like chromosome, like
you're talking sex now. You're not talking gender.
Okay.
Gender is something. I think it's like a made up thing. It's not a scientific thing, and that's where I think the whole argument comes from. And they've lashed on.
But then that's just like semantics. That's like just word salad kind of thing.
100%. 100%. That's why I think it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. If they would just say, okay, yeah, I'm a car. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a car. You can get testicular cancer though as a car. And the other person's like, oh, I'm a car too. Well, you can't. Your car is fine. You can't get, but you can get cervical cancer. Check on that. But gender is not sex, and I think that's what everybody misses, and that's where it's just semantics, like you said. Something to distract people, something to have people arguing about, something to have people at each other's throats about.
Divide people. Yeah, it's just so exhausting to me. There's so many more things that we can be talking about and building and coming together on, instead of just arguing about what's in somebody's pants. It's nobody's business. I couldn't care less.
Imagine if years and years ago, not talking about all the politics and all, but if they came out and with this new movement and they said Black Lives Matter too, who's going to argue with that?
Right.
Well, police lives matter too. White lives matter too. It's not an argument.
Yeah,
Black lives matter.
I agree. Yeah.
But everything's like set up to have people fight. Everything is set up to.
It's all a distraction.
Divide.
Yeah. Yeah. While they steal our energy, while they steal our labor, while they steal,
or they make
all
people
a distraction.
Just so negative. They're just you're giving off negative energy.
Well, like we were talking earlier on my show about how it causes that chemical response in your body where you're living in fear and you're always chasing the dollar and you're always distracted, instead of living in peace and creating things and having a beautiful life. So we can chase the fear, or we can build something.
Did you see Tom McDonald's new song, new video?
No.
It's really good. But there's this line. It's like, we've been chasing the dollar so long, and now we're broke. And it was like, yeah.
I saw that Will Ferrell stayed over. They posted a very odd thing that Will Ferrell stayed over in like some obscure Oklahoma town overnight, and they took a picture. He took a picture with somebody and they posted it, and they were like, and he was overnight for filming in this obscure Oklahoma town. And it was the same night that Trump just happened to show up in an Oklahoma town for a wrestling tournament. So is he one of the doubles for Trump?
Will Ferrell? I don't know.
He could be. Just saying.
Great interview with Jean-Claude on Rumble, Cliff.
Thanks.
March to the opposite side of the sun in CME.
Oh, I thought he meant my interview with Cliff and John Claude.
We dodged a solar bullet. That's another thing, man. We could be hit with a solar flare or something, then we'd be pretty done for a while.
They've been talking about that for a while.
If you're not ready with some kind of EMP protection for some of your stuff, you're going to be screwed. All right.
That'd be another reason to roll out the CBDCs. Everybody's bank accounts got wiped because of a EMP, and then they could save everybody, make them whole with a CBDC. The ISOs rolled out on the 20th, so they're ready to go. They're going to roll out Fed Now in July, and we talked about that last week.
Into the World, yeah, it's a cool song.
Video with Johnny.
A lot of prophetic stuff in there, but I don't know. We're headed to a weird place, a rough place. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as. I think if the Boogaloo hits, like I've said always, I think it's going to be within the police and the military. I think there'll be some, in the streets at first, but then the police and the sheriff's department and eventually the military will have to make their decision on who they're going to back. And I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go away that they're going to back the people that you can't fake that. You can't fudge the numbers. I think what'll happen is what we all think will. And then I hope we rebuild it the way it was supposed to be built. And I hope that I'm here to see
I believe in humanity. Yeah. I believe most people are good. So.
Yes, I think. But you've seen the Jimmy Kimmel stuff?
No.
Oh, someone said something about Epstein, and he started talking about that quarterback for Green Bay. Said he was crazy and an alien hunter and all this. He was just trashing him. And then everybody was like, tell me you're on Epstein's list without telling me you're on Epstein's list. They're like, you're definitely on Epstein's list, aren't you, Jimmy? But yeah.
Like a thou dost protest too much kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, though, and people are starting to say it, that if you kidnap somebody, you're a kidnapper. They can arrest you. You can go to jail. You committed a crime. If you're a trafficker and you traffic people to someone, if there's two people involved. You can't, like Maxwell can't be arrested for trafficking without having a list of people that were the other side of the crime. It's like I was arrested for fighting. Oh, who were you fighting? Oh, only I got arrested, even though they were fighting. It's like there's two people. And that's the weird thing about this. It's this huge, massive crime, this big, crime of the century, televised everywhere, and there's no second parties. There's no list. It's a two-party crime. Let us see this list. Let us know who's on it. Because, like everyone's saying, hey, if the sitting president does commit a crime, then by all means, he should be arrested and stand for that crime. So let's see the list. And then let's hear you say that again. Which, another thing is, Trump is surrounded by Secret Service. So
yeah, that's what Danny Bongino was saying. Secret Service wouldn't allow him to be arrested.
Which they kind of, legally they should. They should see the warrant and respect it. But
unless they don't have jurisdiction.
But this has never happened before. So technically, their job is to protect him, and their law enforcement, they should follow him into jail. Wouldn't that be? That's their job.
Unless they don't have jurisdiction on him, depending on his
they're federal though
status.
There's federal law enforcement, so their jurisdiction would see. It's never happened. There's no.
It depends on Trump's status. You don't know what to do.
What do you mean? What's it depend on his status?
It depends on his status.
Of what?
What his status is.
You have to say what do you mean by his status?
Like he may not find, like when the ICC tried to arrest Putin, just put out that thing with Putin, and Putin gave him this and went and walked in
No, but I'm
Crimea
saying if they do arrest him,
because they can't
they
arrest
go and say,
him.
here's a legal warrant. That's, you're going to have to go to court. You have to fight it in court. You don't fight it in the street. We always, that's the big thing. You don't fight the ticket in the street, fight it in court. So he's presented with a legal warrant. I would think that, I wish Greg was here to ask, I would think the Secret Service would have to say, okay, you can arrest him. We're federal officers. We will have to go with him. It's our job to protect him. He's a president. We've never had this happen before. There's no precedent. So I would think legally they got to follow him to jail and protect him. That's their job. That's
It'll be very enlightening.
It's a weird thing to see. No, the list is not out, Bambi Stick Figure. Yeah, when you're talking about like Bill Maher and so many people that are just talking like common sense, but it's so surprising that they're not flipping. That's the thing about people think that Bill Maher has flipped, but he's not. It's the left that has flipped. The left used to be very much about sovereignty and freedom and government out of your lives and letting people do
they
what
were.
they do.
I don't know. Was that the left or was that the Democrat Party? Used to be.
It was the left. It was
because
liberal.
JFK used to be Democrat.
It was liberals
was
in the
Democrat.
sense that liberals had libertarian tendencies.
Okay.
And now they're totally government rules, government is smart, government, which, but also it's weird that they're warmongers. That's a thing that does make any sense whatsoever. That was always on the table, no war, no war, no war. And now BlackRock and everything, they run the show. I am feeling better. Thanks, man. I had food poisoning, which we talked about on Lisa's channel. So, but I think I need to tell Lisa
about other things too.
Well, yeah, but I think I need a gazpacho, a bunch of gazpacho. My kids hate gazpacho, so I have all this gazpacho. I'm eating it every day, and me and Lisa were talking about how good it is for you, because there's certain things that you're supposed to eat that are like amazing for your body. But I ate bad chicken, Bambi. I knew it was bad, but it was borderline. It's a little over borderline, but I don't know. I paid for this chicken, so I cooked it, and then I made I made a guacamole. There was like one piece of cheese left. I wanted to make this like really good chicken guacamole swish, and I had some really good rye bread. I was gonna make this awesome sandwich. The chicken was off, man. So I ate like about a little over half the sandwich, and I was like, damn it, I can't. I gave the rest of the dog. But anyway, so you're supposed to eat like raw garlic, tears your stomach up. You're supposed to drink straight extra virgin olive oil, awesome for your body. Vinegar tears up your stomach. But all of those things are in gazpacho, and they're all raw. They're just blended. You put the vinegar in there, the raw garlic. What else did I say? Vinegar, garlic,
olive oil,
and you can put like some turmeric and stuff in. So everything you are supposed to be taking in, but it's like gross and it's hard to get it. It's all in gazpacho, so it's really, really good. So I don't think I was that sick from everything, because I've been eating a buttload of gazpacho. And that is, first off, I'm Italian. Second off, you don't eat that much garlic. I'll tell you about this woman. This woman says, oh my God, this food is so spicy. Like, what do you mean? There's no spicy in there. She's like, what's in it? It's like some oregano and basil. Yeah, that's spicy. That's her idea of spicy. Oregano.
That's funny. Yeah. So Public says, Uncle Cliff says that he needs to be arrested so other political types can be arrested for real crimes. So that goes back to, remember when we had the discussion about sovereign immunity, that the state cannot be held responsible in its own courts. And that's what I was going to with the jurisdiction and all that. So I don't know that Trump can be held responsible under the courts. I don't know if he would need to be taken to a different court or would have to be held.
I wonder what does it say exactly?
Different court. I've looked it up before. It says that the state cannot be held accountable under its own courts.
For
in some
crimes committed,
courts.
what is there anything about where the crime's committed?
Let me look it up.
Because DC is not a state. It's an independent. I wonder if that is a loophole. How crazy would it be?
It might
And
be
you know
calling
there's
all
this
that
huge
out.
push to make it a state.
Okay, so sovereign immunity or crown immunity is a legal doctrine whereby a sovereign or state cannot commit a legal wrong and is immune from civil suit or criminal prosecution. Strictly speaking, in modern texts as in its own courts. A similar stronger rule as regards foreign courts in named state immunity. Then it goes into 3 types of sovereign immunity: cons, examples, and benefits.
Well, I mean, there's this huge push to make DC a state. And did you see Jean Pierre like not answering? She's just terrible. That guy kept asking her. It's so blatant. There's like, hey, DC is running.
He's from South Africa, right?
Who?
The guy that she won't answer. She won't ask a question to him. She won't answer a question.
No. This guy. So this foreign reporter says, hey, DC.
Yeah, he's from South Africa.
DC passed this law, and Biden, the president of the United States, is going to try and overturn a law that an independent state passed on their own. How is that legal? How is he supporting their statehood? They run for statehood. And she just kept saying, yeah, they run for statehood. And he's like, no. He allows them to govern themselves unless he doesn't like it. How is that not like tyrannical? And she's like, no, he stands by them. But this law is terrible, and it's going to give carjackers a lesser penalty. And the guy's like, yeah, but it's DC. They voted for this. They passed it. They have the right to sovereignty and pass their own laws. And how is he saying that he supports them being a sovereign state?
Oh, this was a different thing than what I was
talking. Now he's going to try and change their law that they passed because he doesn't like it. And she just kept saying the same thing. And he's like, you're just, and then she's like, we've done this. You're shut up. Next question. And the next question is like, hey, yeah, that's a really good question. Why does how can you say that he supports state sovereignty when their elected representatives passed this law and he doesn't like it? So he's going to try and change the city's law. How do you reconcile the two? And then she just kept smiling. She's like, yes, the president just it was so blatant and ridiculous that
but that's what they're doing. They're just making all this blatant in your face, the dictator himself,
Yes, so. Like I said, some rough times.
Yeah.
I don't know. Trump's headed back to Florida. I will not put 888 clothes. I put a lot of garlic in food because
it's good for you.
It's good for you.
It's good for you. As long as everyone's eating it, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, also I'm Italian. I make a lot of Italian food. We put a lot of garlic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I see your foods. I see your foods. I see your food that you post on Family Night on Facebook. It looks delicious.
There you go, Bambi. A half of teaspoon to 1 whole teaspoon of minced garlic in olive oil for his microgreen salad.
Oh my
gosh. 1 dude, 1 salad. That's about a clove plus a garlic.
That sounds good. My husband made Mongolian beef last night, a brand new recipe though. And so literally we were all sweating and crying eating it. He couldn't find the right kind of peppers and the right kind of chili powder that the recipe called for. So he just picked different kinds of peppers and powder. And so he got and I don't know if I'm saying this right. I want to say he got serrano peppers instead of whatever kind of pepper. And he got sriracha powder instead of whatever kind of powder. And literally we were all just trying to eat white rice afterwards because it was just like we were all sweating and crying, and
I made this
it was so
curry the other
hot.
day, and
It was so hot.
it had these whole red chili peppers that you put in to like boil into it. So it was boiling it, and then what I put in it, I put onions and everything in it, and then I saw this. I wanted to test if I wanted to see if the onions were cooked. So I saw this one, and it was plasticky, and I was like, oh man, I didn't peel that onion very well. So I picked it up and I like bit into it, and it squished, and it was one of the whole red peppers.
Oh
And
my God.
Oh, it was like, okay, that wasn't
Bad choice. Oh my gosh.
Do you have what's that place, the restaurant where they have the fire and everything? It's Mongolian Wok, what? Genghis Grill. Do you have Genghis Grill up there?
Oh, where they like cook in front of you like a
No, that's a different thing. Genghis Grill's like a Luby's, but like that. You get like a big bowl, and then you go through and you're like, I want chicken, this, and they put it all. They cook your stuff right there, and they put it all. It's really good. I like it. It's like I don't know. It's like the Olive Garden of that expensive place you're talking about. Benihana's.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Is like Shogun is what we have.
Yeah, I think we have a show. We have a Shogun here too.
Like where they cook in front of you and they do all the little, light the fire of the volcano of the.
Yeah, this is like kind of that, but it's like
thing.
a Luby style where you walk through with like a bowl and you get lots of stuff.
That's kind of cool.
It is. I love it. But
now I'm hungry.
Me too. I was just thinking that I don't eat.
Now I'm hungry.
I think today is gazpacho and some cottage cheese.
I had a piece of cheese and 2 energy drinks.
Yes.
And a bunch of water.
Shitawak.
I've been
Very
at school
good.
all day. Yeah.
You get some shitty food at the Shitawak.
That's terrible. That's a bad
Park.
joke. Hey, a kid at school told me a joke today.
What?
What prize did the knock knock guy win?
I don't know.
The Nobel Prize.
Oh, that's very good.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I heard a couple good ones. One they're doing this. You know those two. You ever seen the videos of those two dads? They're at the lake and they're sitting on this like pier, and they just tell dad jokes back and forth, but they don't laugh. Oh my God, it's so funny. There's like hundreds and hundreds of them, but one's like, "Hey, did you hear about that new research? Or the University of Texas is doing that research into the effects of alcohol on people?" And he's like, "No, yeah, the results are staggering." And this, dude, I can't remember the other one. It was so funny.
That's funny.
Genghis Khan is Chinese, yeah. And then, well,
Genghis Khan is actually he's Mongolian.
Yeah, it's
he's
Mongolian.
Not Chinese. We did a report on him last year.
I want pizza so bad. Oh, you missed World Blockchain Roundtable.
I did. I need to go watch it.
That jerky who is running the show now, at the end of it, he just has let's have this pop quiz, right? And I
love John though.
Yeah, I like John too. But the pop quiz was, is it pizza or not?
Oh.
And it was like, lasagna, is it pizza or not pizza? It's like, no.
No,
lasagna is not Totino's pizza. Is it, I was like, no, it's its own thing. Is calzone, is it a pizza or not pizza? It's like, no, it's its own thing. And everyone's like, pizza's pizza. But I wanted pizza so bad after watching that, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
Then he had pizza. He had ordered pizza while we were doing the show, and he's just eating the freaking pizza right there. I was like, oh my God, I want to get some pizza so bad. But I did not get pizza. So
good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be bikini season soon. I've been like drinking tons of water, and
yeah, me too.
I got to start walking here soon.
Yeah, but I still, my this bikini, I don't know.
You're not wearing a bikini this year?
It was very last year. So I need to get a new one. Yeah.
We'll go bikini shopping together.
I've been drinking tons of water. Tons of water.
Good.
With lemon.
Yeah, that's good.
I hate water. I worked in the water treatment plant when I was like 18 or 19.
I saw pictures of what they wear when they add the fluoride. They wear like full body suits to add the fluoride to the water. I was like,
It
that's
was like we
concerning.
did. It was. I thought things were a lot more technical than they were. I'm sure you do too. Do you think there's people watching? It was a bunch of good old boys, like the epitome of of government work. I was like 19. A friend of my ex's like worked for the city in Killeen, and she heard of this position as the janitor. And this is minimum wage I think was like 350 or something. So she's like, "Hey, you want to be a janitor?" I was like, "I don't want to be a janitor, man." She's like, "Oh, it pays like $15 an hour." I was like, "God!" I was like, "That's that'd be like $50 an hour or something." So I was like, "Yeah." So I go, and it's just all these good old boys. They just sit on their butt all day, but they're all making like bank. Like they were going to buy a box at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. Everybody was going to pitch in and buy, and those things are like ridiculous. So, but I was like, and there's nothing clean. It was the easiest job. I had to fight hornets. That was it. But I'd be like, hey, so all this these pallets of chemicals that we're not allowed to get close to, I have to clean around. It says super poisonous, and what do you do? Oh, we put it in the water. I'm like, what? It's like it says super poisonous. They're like, yeah, but we only mix it like 1,000,000 gallons, so it's no big deal. And then I was like, so, but we have like all this set equipment, so if there's like poison or the water's poisonous or anything, like there'd be alarms and stuff. She's like, no. I'm like, what are these lights for? Oh, it's just if stuff breaks, man. If, the water's not going through with it. No, we don't. It's like action. And then they started telling me like, yeah, like a few years ago, we burnt a bunch of people in this one town we sent the water to. There was too much stuff, and they were all getting burnt in the showers.
Oh my God.
I was like, but this is right before Iraq. I was like, so what if like a terrorist comes and puts poison in the water? You just kill everybody? They're like, yeah. And there's like back when during NAM, we had the Fort Hood sent troops out here, and we had it protected for that reason because they were talking about poisoning the whole water system. And there's nothing in place. There's nothing in place. If anybody wanted to do that kind of stuff, it's like scary as hell. Plus, they fuck up. I mean, these are like horrible, terrible chemicals that I've seen all that, like just pallets of them. And it's like if they just put it in the water and there's nothing, they don't like, there's no alarm or anywhere to test for it.
I saw this thing where the EPA is forcing or trying to force Oklahoma to accept like all this poisonous stuff from what happened in Ohio. And our governor is like, no, we're not taking the trash from Ohio. We don't have to accept your garbage, your poisonous garbage. Well, why is the EPA the boss of Oklahoma? You know what I mean? Where we were saying earlier, where like, why would the president be able to
There are people that think you're
overrule
crazy for asking that question. There are people that think you're crazy.
I think they're crazy.
They're the federal government. Of course, they can tell your state what to do.
But the EPA is not.
That's not how it's supposed to work. You're right. But
no, it's not. This is where I'm saying like everything is upside down.
Yeah.
And maybe we do have to get damn mad about it.
So I don't know. Do you test your water there?
I do not.
See, I test my water. We don't drink. I haven't drunk water. That's all I was beginning to tell you. So I haven't drank water since I was 19 because I worked there, and I was like, this is horrible.
How scary!
I don't want to drink this shit. And then I knew how they worked, and then I didn't keep the job because the other guy he realized that he couldn't live out in the real world, and he came back. So he just showed up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna take my job back. I'm like, so you gonna have two of us working here? And they were like, sorry, Sean, you gotta go. I was so mad. Doesn't have a cushy life. But I would be retired actually on a full pension. But anyway,
oh, don't worry. Biden's getting rid of everybody's pension so that we can pay for Ukraine pensions.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't drink water. And this is like before bottled water was really that huge. It was just what snobs drank. And I would only drink bottled water. Everyone called me a snob. And then I got like water purification stuff. So I have I think it's called Pure. No, it's not that. It's
Yeah, a
something else.
filter.
But it's this thing that makes it zero. There's nothing in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You test it and it's zero. There's no particles. And then I looked at what the states are, and Texas is bad. Like Michigan, terrible. Texas, just under there. They're 200. I just tested it today because I got to change my filter. The water from the tap is 220 parts per million, which is really bad. Like from the fridge door, it's 170, and that goes through like a regular.
Yeah, we
filter.
have like a couple filters.
But yeah, you
I
should
don't know
test
what
it.
they are.
You should test your water. It's and you can look it up by state. You can probably look it up on Google right now, and I'll show you.
Interesting.
But yeah, I thought like the South would be better than it was, and it is not.
Pretty wild.
But I wonder what like Ohio is going to look like next time they do the big test for the map.
I don't know, and that runs all into the Mississippi and all into the rest of the U.S.
Yeah, which goes everywhere, which goes into the ocean.
Terrible.
I would not only drink Perrier, I would drink other stuff.
It's Perrier.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
My mother was a hippie, intellectual hippie. I knew it. I was drinking it when I was like 5.
Once my mom and my sister drank it, I thought it tasted disgusting.
And then I thought it did too until I grew up in Europe and they drink that everywhere. They call it gas water, which is a weird, but call it gas water. But yeah, other water or mineral, call it mineral water or gas water. But usually it has
I gotta go get
in the water.
Some more of this.
I can't drink anymore. I don't know. I made myself
at all.
Yeah, I was talking to Keith Waring about it. I was like, I made myself. I got a hankering for Apple stuff, and I bought.
I have some Apple beers in my fridge that the kids brought over last summer, and they're
like
disgusting.
The cider, like the cider, hard cider.
I don't know what it is. It says like red.
Yeah,
it's got pictures of apples, and it says red
I think I
something on it.
But I made some drinks with like
Terrible.
I bought apple vodka or apple jack. I bought apple something. It was like 100 proof, and then I got
Well, when I come to Austin, I'll bring them to you.
And I bought some apple soda or apple juice. Anyway, I made myself like this couple apple drinks. I drank it. So I don't really get drunk because it takes a lot. And but I got a little buzz, but then I literally felt like I poisoned myself. Like I felt. So
well, then don't do it if you don't.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm not gonna do it. I was like, I was a little bit, snookered for a few minutes. It was usually that's about max I could do, and then it goes away.
See, I can't do the sugary stuff. It makes me feel like terrible.
The root beer moonshine I made was pretty good. Did I send you some of that?
Ooh, no, but I love root beer.
I'll make you some.
Okay.
That was good.
All right.
I sent a lot of people out. So alkaline to fight cancer. I was thinking I want to tell you. So my doctor, I think I have IBS. I said, I think I have IBS. I was like, this happens as soon as I eat. I gotta go to the bathroom. I got diarrhea all the time. I take like 4 diarrhea pills every day. He's like, oh yeah, I have IBS. So every time he's just like, yeah, you got IBS. So I've never been.
Have you taken like a probiotic or something?
Yeah, I've tried everything. But also I'm on this medication that makes you sick. But anyway, I started drinking all this lemon water. And I mean, I drink probably like a gallon of lemon water a day. Maybe a gallon and a half sometimes. And I felt like way better. And then I see this, I was watching these videos, and this one doctor was talking about fatty liver. And it's like textbook, like IBS and all these other problems from a fatty liver. And like one of the best things is like lemon juice and lemon water can help to rinse it out. And I've been, like I said, I've been drinking that for, I don't know, a few weeks. And it has helped. It has really helped. Because also my doctor told me that I should be dehydrated. So I like try to not drink stuff. But
that you should be dehydrated?
Yeah, he said I should be dehydrated. And I'm like, it's like, don't eat pickles because pickles are low in calories. You have salt, and and then because if I
would
body-
think lemons would. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It says Jim says lemons alkalize the water, but I would think they would make it acidic. Alkalize means make
alkalize
it
means,
alkaline, right?
that means acid versus base, so it gives it an
Oh,
acidic thing. Yeah,
okay. It is acidic. Okay,
yeah.
I'm confused.
But what was I saying?
I'm sorry. Your doctor was telling you to drink the lemon water
Oh, no,
and you
he
should be
told me to
dehydrated.
not drink much because if I more fluid I have, it goes on my lungs and I can't breathe.
Okay,
I
yeah.
have pills to pee and stuff, but he's like, don't drink all this water, man, because then you can have all this fluid. You gotta have more pills. Take it off. He's like,
Okay.
you gotta run this fine line between being dehydrated and not. It's better to be a little dehydrated. So I'm like, yeah, but then my body's not working the way. So he's wrong. So
For your lungs and your heart is what he's thinking.
Yeah, I've been drinking a ton of water with lemon in it, and I've been getting rid of it too. So, but I've been feeling so much better, man. So I think that's good.
Good.
Drink lemon in water. But I was so mad that I didn't
Something
think
about
gazpacho
fatty liver is what you were talking about.
Yeah, and I forget what causes it, but it's not like fat or anything. It's from something else. But I'm mad that I didn't tell you about gazpacho when you're having the trouble with eating the raw food. I'm like, man,
It was one of her recipes, though.
Blend it up. Did you have it? Did you make gazpacho?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And basically, it tastes like salsa to me, like you're drinking cold salsa.
Did you put green peppers in it?
I don't remember. It was
I told you, I finally nailed the recipe. You have to use English cucumbers.
I have cucumbers.
English cucumbers?
And I don't know what kind.
Have to have English cucumbers and green peppers. You have to use some vinegar. Just you don't taste it.
Yeah, we had vinegar, olive oil, cilantro, tons of tomatoes.
I didn't put any cilantro.
We put cilantro in it.
Not even a ton of tomatoes because I didn't have a lot of room because I put in so many green peppers and so much English cucumbers. But English cucumbers, the flavor and it blends up so much better. But that was like nailed it, man. And I did put a ton of garlic in it. Because Bambi Stick Figure sent me a 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, this big mason jar called I forget. No, it's not Texas candy. The Texas candy is sweet, the jalapenos, which are delicious. But it's just a huge jar of garlic cloves in vinegar, and they turn blue, like bright blue, and then that kind of goes away after a few months. But yeah, I've had them for about a year and a half, and I was like, I'm going to open it. And I used 2 of those and then 1 full garlic in each blender thing I made of it. I made like 4 blender things full of it.
She says candied jalapenos too.
Yeah, that's the Texas candy or cowboy candy. That's what's called.
Cowboy candy.
They're cool. So delicious, man. But they'll tear your stomach up. You eat
That sounds awesome.
Sounds like good friends. Sniper removes heavy metals. That's cool.
Good to know. See, if we would get back to eating real food, and not all this fast food, plastic, GMO crap, we would be a lot more healthy. But I'm gonna run and grab some dinner with my hubby and another beer.
Have a good time. It was great hanging out with y'all.
It was great.
Y'all remember to hit the like button. Please hit the like button.
And go back and watch the first half on my channel, please.
If you have not.
Like Quinlisa on YouTube. And join us in OKC for the meetup.
Yeah. OKC. The OKC. I watched King of the Hill the other day, the one where he gets turned into a pimp, but he doesn't know it. And Snoop Dogg comes down to get his hoe back. And he's like, I'm Fluffy Fresh from the OKC. Where's my hoe? It was we watched a lot of King of the Hill the other day. It was pretty hilarious. Love that show.
I have no comment.
You have no comment about King of the Hill or the hoes in the OKC?
The hoes in the OKC.
All right, you guys take care. Love y'all. See you later. Oh wait, I gotta go out with something. What are you going out with?
A short one. A
short one.
Not that epic long one the other day.
What epic long one?
That I sat through thinking you were going to be there, and then you bailed on me.
Here we go. Have you heard about the species? You know about the species?
You look at what's happening with species. Half the species of the planet have been already killed.